I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight it will be the stars and cars of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, coming to you from Worldwide Technology Raceway, the artist formerly known as Gateway. My name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. James Watson. And I'll tell you what, James, it's Oval Week. You'll be in the car driving, talking to us, probably squealing at some point. Talk us through.
I will not, unfortunately.
Oh, you will not be driving with us.
No, I'm behind the wheel in a different race, as usual.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you're just going to be a slack off then. That's all right. You are behind the wheel.
Don't
Willpower.
Don't worry, I will still bring the same level of lukewarm commentary and random squealing.
As expected, yes. Practice is just finishing up, and we are getting ready to start qualifications here. I am really looking forward to this one, James, because the PM18s at Gateway is about as good as it gets in terms of car and track combos on the iRacing platform.
It's the only car that doesn't suck to drive around this place. Yes, I said that. Come at me in the comments if you want. It's just so perfect around this track because it's a pack race, but it's not a turn your brain off and just turn laps type pack race like you typically see from Daytona and Talladega. You are in a pack, but you are wheeling the absolute hell out of your car, like white knuckling it to the point to where you can't feel your upper body after it, and it never fails to put on an incredible show. And we see moments where they should have wadded it up, but they never seem to do. It's incredible.
Well, yeah, and we've got I believe 30 car entry list here tonight, 15 and 15 across two splits, 31.44 the SOF on this one, as Joseph Heath goes top of the board, quick time, 31.674. Andrew Berry second quick, followed by Ben Carswell, Rod Eskew, Cole Trexler. Now Carl Lemkuhl going to move to the top of the charts at a 31.598. Looking to see the second laps being the quicker of the two here for most of these cars is Everett Paddock. New quick time, 31.497. Lap number 2 for Andrew Berry. Even faster, 31.344. 31.34 with a 4 for Andrew Berry. Simon Fell slots up into second at a 31.485. Pick up Everett Paddock as he's coming down across the start-finish line to complete his qualification run. Lap number 2, actually a tick slower, 31.500. On the speedway, finishing lap number 2 is Wes Shire. He was 8th, quick, 31.561, 31.857 on lap number 2. That's going to be a little bit of a disappointment there for Shire. Now picking up the 10 of Stephen C. Thompson. 13th quick in qualifications to this point at a 31.967. He's off at turn number 4 with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. Lap number 2 on the board for the number 10, and he will go up to the 9th position, 31.626. Jason Owens. Lap number 1 will be, well, just starting. He is going to be the last car to get a lap in here in qualifications. Let's pick up Nagisa Yoshikawa, who is on a flyer into turn number 3. Yoshikawa 13th in qualifications to this point, 31.786. Lap number 2 for Yoshikawa will be 5th quick, 31.4. 31.514. Lap number 1 for Jason Owens, 31.631 seconds. About a quarter of a second off the pace of Andrew Berry, your top qualifier. But like we said, he's going to set the heater here on lap number 2. Owens, not a guy we see regularly during the season, but Oval Week brings him out in bunches. Lap number 2 for JO5 will be second quick, 31.411, 7/100ths of a second separating the front 2 cars on the grid here this evening.
Yeah, it's not very surprising to see JO42 up towards the front. He is one of the premier drivers when it comes to these cars on ovals, as we've always seen. He season in and season out.
Yeah, Jason is one of those guys where you just know you're going to see a lot out of him. Now, these drivers are going to take a minute or so here. In fact, they may take the full 2 minutes that are on offer to make some of the setup adjustments that they need to do just based on the weather conditions. Tonight, we're seeing an ambient temperature of 80 degrees, 81 degree track temperature under partly cloudy skies. Little bit of a breeze out of the north, not much in the way of humidity either. But we're to the point now in developing the sets for this car, James, where we're seeing weather-specific sets to within a 2 or 3 degree range.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that everything is so optimized. Like, we've put in an obscene amount of laps, us oval guys as a group. Like, I remember seeing this tally sheet from a little while ago, and like me and Wes alone have done like 10,000 laps with each other. And so because of all that experience, our setups are so optimized, so much time put into it that, and I've heard from Jason himself, he has like sets for every degree from like 79 all the way to like 91, and it's not surprising at all.
Well, let's take a look at the starting grid here quickly as the field is rolling off. On the pole will be Andrew Berry carrying the number 1. He will start on the pole with a lap time of 31.344. Outside of road number 1 will be Jason Owens, 67 thousandths of a second back in the Riley Children's Foundation Extra Life. Number 2, Simon Fell and Everett Paddock for TNT Racing on row number 2. Row 3 tonight will have Ben Carswell lining up alongside of Nagisa Yoshikawa. Row number 4, Frank Wynn in the number 5 alongside of Downforce Racing's Carl Lemkool in the number 9. Row 5 will have Ted Burns in the 3 alongside of the number 6 Homestead Coffee entry of Wes Shire. Row number 6, Stephen C. Thompson alongside of Brian Molitor. Row 7, Rod Eskew and Joseph Heath. Couple of good-looking cars there on row 7. All alone on row number 8 will be the 15 of Cole Trexler. Field making their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace car will duck in. We haven't done one of these in a while. Y'all at home, go ahead and crank these things up. These guys are absolutely flying already on lap number 1 of this 47-lap feature event. Here comes Jason Owens looking inside of Andrew Berry into turn number 1. He'll get that pass completed. The draft is in full effect here tonight, James, and, well, quite frankly, I'm here for it. That's one of the things that really makes this just incredibly exciting.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's going to be throwing haymakers each other, or in a pack of like probably 8-9 cars is we're going to stick in this pack here as we get towards the halfway point of the race. Unless we can get lucky and everyone stays nose to tail, but typically that doesn't always happen. You're going to have one person that makes a slight mistake and loses the draft, especially as we wait for the tires to get up to temp.
Yeah, on board here with Andrew Berry. Jason Owens up to his outside. Berry's going to make the pass clear, and there's Nagisa Yoshikawa right there along with Everett Paddock, but Owens looking inside, looking outside. He's going to have the run down the straightaway. Ted Burns getting the move made around Simon Fell inside into turn number 1. Keep your eye on that white downforce racing car. He's going to start charging, and one of the things that we were talking about in the pre-race was the fact that if this race didn't split, these guys could run almost a half tank of fuel just banking on the number of caution laps. Now, you're not guaranteed to get a caution, let alone multiples. You got to carry the full 30, 31 liters of fuel, and you're going to have to do a ton of tire saving here tonight, too.
Yeah, like, these guys are so experienced that they can run these crazy packs 3-4 wide and get away with it. And so I'd be shocked if we get a caution, but we have seen huge melees here before at Gateway, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we get one, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we go green checkered here.
Yeah, and looking at the way they are now, the top 12 have broken away from the bottom 3 cars in the field by about 2 seconds. Joseph Heath, Cole Trexler, Rod Eskew running around the single file at the back of the field. The problem is I think they might be out of range unless they really start getting argy-bargy here at the front, because it's going to take some wild swings and really slowing up the pack. We're seeing a lot of passes. What we're not seeing is a lot of time lost as a result of making those passes.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you can squabble for position pretty easy here. Like, naturally you're going to be 2 and even 3 wide. So I've seen to where you can be in these huge packs throwing sliders and haymakers and only lose a couple of tenths. But still should have a decent opportunity of catching up to the draft, because even though it doesn't quite lose you as much time, you do have a much bigger hole punched in the air. So you can use that to your advantage if you're trying to catch back up to the pack.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Nagisa Yoshikawa making a move on Jason Owens. Right at the same time, Everett Paddock starting to follow in there as well. Paddock going to move himself up to the 2nd position. It's going to be Carl Lemkool and Andrew Berry battling here about the mid-pack of this front 12. The love for Cole Trexler in the comments is absolutely fantastic. Let's say, like, DJF checking in saying, I think some tire saving is happening. I think there's more than some tire saving at this point, because there were, in fact, I think it was Brian Labarge talking about the fact that the car was plowing like a dump truck, and he got a win earlier this week with a car that was evil handling at the end of the race and ran out of fuel as he crossed the start-finish line. That's how tight the tolerances are that you have to be setup-wise to be competitive.
Yeah, like, I won the 7 o'clock split yesterday, and I was pretty much all by myself for the entirety of it, and I still had 68% remaining on the right front, and that was with no traffic. So I can only imagine how wrecked the tires are going to be for those battling in 5th, 6th, or 7th.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of that here as Carl Lemkool's going to have Ted Burns and Frank Wynn looking inside. Oh, buddy, that's tight at the midpoint of the corner. Oh, now Andrew Berry's going to look even further inside. This is all going on as the battle for the 4th position, but you watch these guys moving around. Oh, Frank almost up into the wall. Berry has to take some evasive action. swing the camera around, you still have the top 3 all in line. And this is such an incredibly difficult thing to do, James. You're trying to make the move forward and stay in the draft and be where you got to be. And then at the same time, you're fighting this back behind you. It's like, good Lord, man. You are under attack everywhere.
Yeah, you need eyes in the back of your head because you want to focus forward and try to figure out when to make your move and what move you even can make. And you have to be worried about the calamity behind you. And that's what makes passing difficult here because the middle line is dominant with it being not that high a banking. So you try to make a move on the inside and you come off side by side with someone on the corner, you're probably screwed because the rest of the pack can just line up behind them and just freight train you all the way back to who knows where. And so it's so frustrating. You just have to be super aware of your surroundings and see if you can catch some sort of break and make that move at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is patiently aggressive is the mantra of the night, it feels like. You're just kind of, you're constantly on edge, and then at the same time, you have to be centering yourself and not, oh, Andrew Berry's going around!
There it is! Oh! Was that Wes involved?
Oh! Looks like Cole Trexler and Rod Eskew got a piece of that as well. The other one involved is the 3 of Ted Burns.
Oh, that was Teddy. Oh, man.
As we are under caution here, let's take a look and find the replay that we want to use here. Let's see. I think it might be this one. Take a look at the NRN replay. Andrew Berry down inside, middle of 1 and 2. Maybe got a little bit of help from Carl Lemkool. Backed it up into the outside wall, and then unfortunately Berry comes down the racetrack and just nowhere for Trexler and Eskew to go. What a tough break there.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a couple of the heavyweights.
And now, potentially a little bit of drama here. Pit stops coming from a lot of your race leaders. Nagisa Yoshikawa stays out. Frank Wynn stays out on the racetrack. Simon Fell is going to stay out. I believe also Cole Trexler may stay out on the racetrack after that contact.
I don't know if I hate this strategy. Like, we've all been really concerned with tire wear for this week. And I really don't think that that's a bad idea. As long as you don't lose the draft, this might be a race-winning strategy because you're going to be suffering up front. Even if you have clean air, you're going to be suffering. And that's basically more than a quarter of the race right there that we've already done. So that's a big advantage on tires.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
you're talking a 16, 17 lap gap in tires between the top 4 that stayed out on the racetrack and these guys that are back behind them. I mean, we had the comment from DJF saying tire saving was happening. I don't know why you wouldn't come down pit road there. Because even if you get another caution that you're going to make a stop on, if you're Yoshikawa, Frank Wynn, Simon Feld, Cole Trexler, you're now lining up potentially no better than 11th when you come back to green. That is a long way to go, and a big group of cars you're going to have to try to fight your way through.
Yeah, because the only realistic way that this is going to work for them is there's a big separation from the cars that pitted to the cars that didn't pit and they lose their draft, or 2, you get a caution maybe like another 10 laps in and then you could pit and then you have a bit of a baby overcut, but yeah, it's still not good, but you never know, honestly.
Well, that's exactly it. You just don't know what you're going to get here, and especially on this restart, you're going to have potentially one of the bigger issues being these guys that are on still relatively hot tires are going to try to have to make a clean getaway, while you have a group from 5th place Jason Owens on back that is on colder tires and quite frankly going to be on the move here. We'll see what happens. Everett Paddock, West Shire pulling way down to the inside of the racetrack as we're off the final quarter. Green flag goes back in the air. We are underway once again here at Gateway, and it is a fantastic start for Nagisa Yoshikawa at the front of the field. West Shire absolutely dropping like a rock. Everett Paddock running down on the inside as well. These guys falling towards the back of the field, and actually looks like Everett Paddock is going to be coming down pit lane. So is West Shire, I think.
Wow.
Oh, do we have penalties to answer for? Oh my goodness. Huge race implications there for Everett Paddock and West Shire. Their race, for all intents and purposes, is done at this point.
Wow, that's shocking. I wonder what they even did. Were they the ones that pitted?
Yeah, it looks like they were stop and go penalties. 2 seconds in the box for Everett Paddock, 2.2 for West Shire. Oh, that is heartbreaking for those guys.
They need a caution ASAP.
Even with a caution, nobody's going to come down pit lane. There isn't a lucky dog to be had.
Oh, man.
I think, you know what? The only saving grace, you'll just see it there. West Shire is just ahead. So is Everett Paddock. So, yeah, a caution right now would get them on back to the tail end of the lead lap. It's basically where they are right now. But if Frank Wynn comes around either of these cars, it's game over.
Yeah. This is almost practically wide open now with Barry destroyed, Wes and Everett hit with the penalties.
Yeah, there's... what we're looking at right now is a top 6 that has broken away from the rest of the field. Frank Wynn, Nagisa Yoshikawa, Simon Fell, Cole Trexler, Jason Owens, and Carl Lempool are those top 6 cars. It's a full 3 seconds back, basically, to Stephen C. Thompson, Ben Carswell, Brian Molitor, and Joseph Heath. And then you have Everett Paddock and West Shire that are 30 seconds behind your race leader. And here comes Frank Wynn, new fastest lap of the race, and he puts West Shire a lap down. So going on board here with Nagisa Yoshikawa. There's Simon Fell just back behind. Take a look out the front end, and you got to look at the race leader. This would be a huge win for Frank Wynn if he were able to hold on to this thing for another 22 laps.
Yeah, you know the Frankie subscribers are loving watching this.
Yes, they are enjoying the show, that's for sure. So there's the look out the front and towards race leader Frank Wynn. And it's not the only battle that's going on here either. I mean, this second group of cars now headed up by Ben Carswell, has their own little scrap going on back here, especially Brian Molitor, Stephen C. Thompson, and Joseph Heath. That's going to be 8th, 9th, and 10th. But we're going to head up back towards the front here as Carl Lemkool gets around Cole Trexler to put Trexler back into the 6th position. I can almost agree with this one if it had happened, well, 2 minutes ago when the comment came in. Wes deserves a good guy yellow. Potentially, yeah. And now down to 20 to go. Maybe out of time here for West Shire. And actually, race leader Frank Wynn really getting a bit of a hard time here from Everett Paddock, trying to stay on the lead lap. And that's every bit of Paddock's prerogative to do. Run your race as hard and as fast as you possibly can, because if we get that yellow, he does still have a shot.
Yeah, but you're gonna need a whole lot of brakes. But stranger things have happened.
You know what? In Paddock's case, he would be able to pit and take a set of tires. Oh, we're going to be 3 wide to turn number 1. Yoshikawa inside a win.
Right,
oh my goodness, what a fight at the front. Yosh has to pull back in line. Do you think we can get the CMs to submit a schedule that's just Gateway for 12 weeks?
Gateway and a few other ovals. Who needs road courses?
That's the motto of the TNT Shock Series. Airing here on Tuesday nights. We say that the Shock Series will be back next Tuesday night, heading to the road course at Willow Springs.
It's just an oval with a couple of corners that go in the other direction.
Oh, one car going around. Owens maybe up into the outside wall. Trouble on the racetrack. And we are under caution for the second time tonight. Looks like Carl Lemkool up into the outside wall. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, a little bit of contact. Wow, huge hit for Jason Owens as well. But Lemkool and Owens are both going to be out of this race. Let's take a look here.
That was almost exactly what happened in the 7 o'clock split, just with less actual death.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. Actually, let's see. Let's take a look from the overhead. Yoshikawa and Wynn were basically side by side for the lead there. That was, I'm going to say, an awkward incident. I don't know if Lemkool got loose there. Let's see. Go to the chopper cam here. See if we can see what happened from the NRN drone. Oh, that was a tough, millimeters too close. But unfortunately, that means it will be the end of the race for Jason Owens and Carl Lemkool. And Everett Paddock got his caution. Oh, and how about it? I love the call here. Let's give him a shout out. The comments are going to go ballistic. Cole Trexler, one of 3 cars to make a pit stop this time by, along with Brian Molitor and Everett Paddock, and Trexler is going to restart from position number 7. This is the same gap that we saw on the first round of tire stops. But now the cars at the front of the field have 33, 34 laps on their Cooper tires. Cole Trexler may have made a race-winning call here if he can be aggressive enough to get through the field.
The problem is, though, is that it's going to take a while for those tires to come up to temp. So if he can get them up to temp within a couple laps, I'd say so. But that's a big if, knowing how little grip there is from these front tires on the first few laps.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. But if you look at on raw pace tonight, Cole Trexler has been faster than 3 of the 6 cars ahead of him. In fact, he slots in 4th on raw pace here. 15 lap average is a 31.484. For your top 3, it's all 31.3s, 31.6s for the cars that are behind him. He is just going to have to be really aggressive and do it really, really quickly on this restart.
Yeah, because, man, there's just not a whole lot of time to work with. And you pray that there isn't a caution with 4 to go to end it, knock on wood.
That's a great point. No overtime in the Indy Pro 2000 championship here on iRacing. So basically, you've really got, if you're Cole Trexler, about 8 laps to get to the front. If you get to 4 to go, that's kind of where you're you're basically going to run out of laps when you run them under caution. You have the caution lap to pack everybody up, the lap for lead lap cars to pit, then the lap down cars pit the following lap, and then you're going back to green, and it's basically a kind of 100-yard sprint to the finish. So we'll see what Trexler is going to be able to do here from position number 7. Oh, I love it. Derek Castor is checking in. Cole Trexler equals Cole Trickle. Do it for Harry, buddy. Pace car is in. Field is off of turn number 4 under the control of Frisky Frankie. Frank Wynn going to lead the field to green. He gets a fantastic start over Nagisa Yoshikawa. Could it be too good of a start? Wes Shire, the lap car coming around. Simon Fell on the outside. Shire can try to race his way back onto the lead lap here, too. So that third car in line, the white number 16 Homestead Coffee Roasters entry, he may have something to say about this race, but it's going to be a lot of work to do. Let's slide back. Pick up Ben Carswell battling with Simon Fell for the final spot on the podium here tonight. Stephen C. Thompson is right there. So is Joseph Heath in the 12. Oh, man, these guys are getting tight on the way into turn number 3. Simon has to run a way high line through 3 and 4. That's going to open the door for Thompson. Oh, that was tight. He thought about making that 3 wide at the exit of the corner. Trexler has not been able to make his way forward at all. In fact, losing a spot to Brian Molitor on the restart. Now you're going to have Simon. Well, and that's exactly it. They're now losing the top 3. Who with 10, now 9 laps to go.
Honestly, top 2.
Well, yeah, top 2 right now. We're down to 9 to go, but that's Wes Shire in 3rd. He's trying to race his way back onto the lead lap. Oh, I believe that's Joseph Heath into the outside wall in turns 1 and 2. Wes Shire almost gets to play Kingmaker here, being that 3rd car in line, if he chooses to do so. Because whichever car he wants to draft with is going to have a significantly easier time either getting to the front or staying at the front.
Yeah, and like, this plays into Yoshikawa's hands great, because the risk I talked about of making the move and it not working out and losing positions. He doesn't have to worry about that. He can be aggressive. He can make moves, and if it doesn't work, oh well, just slot in behind and try again. Like, this is not really what you want to see if you're Frankie.
Well, yeah, and now this is getting absolutely insane a little bit further back in the pack. Ben Carswell is just about in drafting range of your leaders at the front here. He's going to start catching up, and now he is down to about 0.6 of a second back of the race leader with now 6 laps to go. Oh, and Yoshikawa battling Frank Wynn into turn number 1. Wynn going to hold on to the spot, but this fight is going to bring Carswell into play too. Yoshikawa looks inside towards turn 3. Shire electing to run a little bit higher. Lane stays tucked in behind Frank Wynn. Almost like he's leaving the door open for Carswell if he wants to make that move down to the inside, as Wynn pulls back tight down to those rumble strips at the entry to turn number 1. Throws a little bit of a soft slider on Yoshikawa. He'll reclaim the lead off at 2 with 5 to go. Shire now looks down to the inside. He's going with Yoshikawa. Carswell going to stay up on the top side of the racetrack with Frank Wynn. Shire pulls out of the way. It's going to be a 3-horse fight for the win. Frank Wynn again throws that little baby slider into turn number 1. It allows Yoshikawa to duck right back inside, and Carswell tucked right up underneath the back end of Wynn to 3.
Oh, has he got him? I think he's got him. He's got to move up.
Oh,
he got
wow,
him.
that was tight.
Oh, what a slider.
Drag race to the line that time by half a car length. Call it a 1/100th of a second with 3 to go.
Oh, but Frank's going to get the slider again.
At some point, Ben Carswell is going to have to make a move here if he wants to battle for the win.
He's doing it now. Are they 3 wide?
Just about 3 wide
kinda.
entering turn 3. But they're both going to slide high.
Up.
Carswell grabs some gravity, middle of 3 and 4, looks down to the inside. 2 to go here at Gateway.
This is not what you want to see if you're Frank. Nowhere to go.
Oh, Carswell's right there. He's looking down the inside. He's going to get a little bit of a tow from Yoshikawa, too.
All right, what does Ben do?
Carswell right down on the line in 3 and 4.
He's not going to do it. Is he? Oh!
Drag race to the line. White flag is out. 1 to go. Call it 4/100ths of a second that time by. Carswell again looks inside of Yoshikawa through 1 and 2. Tries to slide him up the racetrack. Wynn almost makes contact with the outside wall exiting turn 2. Carswell's going to have a shot at a run, but here comes Frank Wynn looking inside.
Oh, Ben's got the line. Oh, he's not going to do it.
Carswell's going to have a great run off the corner. Yoshikawa goes to block. Nagisa Yoshikawa gets the win at Gateway. Ben Carswell, Frank Wynn. How about a 10th and a half separating first through third in a fantastic finish here at Worldwide Technology Raceway?
Oh my goodness, what a brawl. Oh man. Oh my god. After all the races that Nagisa Yoshikawa has been in, all the SOFs, finally the man behind the speed at Team Watson Racing gets it done for his first career SOF win. Oh, you love to see it.
I'll tell you what, I don't think we're going to hear him excited, though. He is one of the calmest dudes you would ever want to meet. There it is, Nagisa Yoshikawa, your race winner here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Absolutely fantastic show here tonight, and let's take a look at your race results. 76 thousandths was all that separated the top two at the finish line. Nagisa Yoshikawa getting the win over Ben Carswell and Frank Wynn. Brian Molitor coming home fourth. Stephen C. Thompson fifth. Sixth to Cole Trexler. Seventh Simon Fell. Eighth Joseph Heath. Ninth to Everett Paddock. And Wes Shire in 10th. The first car 1 lap down. Carl Emcool finishing out of the race in 11th. Jason Owens in 12th. Rod Eskew, Ted Burns, and Andrew Berry all going out early in this race in the first caution flag incident of the night. And they will round out your 15-car field. So now it's time to pick up our, well, let's see who we're going to have to talk to here first anyway. Let's see. Well, let's see. Yeah, we'll bring in, let's see. Yeah, we'll bring our runner-up finisher in tonight here to start off our Victory Lane interviews, Mr. Ben Carswell. And, man, I'll tell you what, Ben, the car was pretty quick tonight. Maybe not top of the field on absolute raw pace, but things kind of rolled your way, and you were able to put the car up there and bring home a nice second-place finish tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it was an eventful race. Lost the draft after pitting for tires. That was not good. We had somebody who pitted for tires get off to a really slow start and stick us behind them. And then it all kind of worked my way after that. I was an unfortunate wreck there with Jason and Carl, and then at the end I just had to kind of count on knowing what Wes was going to do and just do the opposite of that.
Well,
to get by him, and yeah.
It's well, and then you got to the absolutely incredible battle that you had with Nagisa and Frank. At one point, I said with, I guess, 3 or 4 to go, Carswell's going to have to force the move somewhere, because the way they were trading the top spot at each end of the racetrack, you were going to be stuck there unless you made that move. And it was the big dive into turn number 3 that really set you up for this second place finish.
Yeah. It's a wide racetrack, but it really is kind of 2-lane only. It's really hard to run 3 wide here in these cars. It's nearly impossible. And both of their cars were really fast. Obviously, Nagisa was with Team Watson Racing setups on board. And it was just, I just knew I had to get the big run off of 1 and 2. And then Frank just opened that outside door a little bit, and that was what I needed to get the good entry and be able to get there. And then I just, the final lap, 1 and 2, I just didn't quite get it right and got a really poor exit, and that killed any chance I had of being able to stay alongside Nagisa. So.
Well, I tell you what, it was a fantastic drive tonight, a really nice run there for the Team Watson Racing setups entry, and congratulations on it. Before we let you go, make sure you do all the rest of the sponsor plugs and thank yous here too.
Yeah, thank you to you all at NRN for the broadcast and being on the car. Thank you to TNT for hosting the unofficial great meeting place for this series and so many great drivers. And thank you to Team Watson Racing Setups for helping make the car fast. The Team Watson Racing Setups 1-2 tonight, so that's pretty awesome. I know the boss James is going to be pretty happy to hear about that.
Yeah, I would say he's going to be pretty jacked up here. Ben, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. And now let's bring in a guy we have not gotten to talk to nearly enough. Frank Wynn coming home in the third position tonight. Talk me through a little bit of the strategy call, Frank, because it was absolutely brilliant for you guys to stay out. I figured you would be sitting ducks if you didn't take tires at some point, and it seemed like track position was the more important thing to have.
Oh yeah, definitely. And thank you so much for having me back. It is great to be back. It has been a long, long time since since we got to talk to each other. But when the first caution came out and I saw Jason duck in, I believe it was Jason who was ducking in from the lead into the pits. I was kind of surprised at that because I prioritized track position because I wanted to get relatively clean air. And I found in the previous race that I ran here that the tire wear and the drop off wasn't as severe as I would have thought at the end of the race there. So I elected to stay out. And when the second caution came out, it was actually perfect because I believe it was Wes Shear who was the lapped car that slotted perfectly in between the cars that stayed out and the cars that did pit. So the cars that did pit would have to fight their way around the lapped car to catch up to the cars that didn't pit. So that strategy really fell right into my lap.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, you can have the strategy fall into your lap, but the racing has to be there too. And were you feeling like you were knocking a little bit of rust off doing the big pack racing here? Because this is the biggest SOF I think we're going to see this week. Sometimes you don't necessarily get that in the other splits that you run throughout the week.
Yeah, totally. It's, this was the first SOF oval race I've taken part in quite a while. I was on the sidelines for quite a bit with my wheel being on the fritz, but thankfully it appears to have sorted itself. So I'm so glad to be back and see that I am still able to compete with the top guys here. I'm just, I've been missing this. I love racing with, Nagisa, Jason, Wes, Everett, everyone else, Andrew there. This is what I crave, fighting wheel to wheel, lap after lap with Nagisa for the win. At the end there, I probably should have realized, though, after 5 or 6 attempts that trying to pass going into one wasn't going to work, and I probably should have exercised a bit more patience and try to get a good run out of 2 and pass before turn 3. But I'm happy with the result. Podium finish, 3rd place. I got to show off my racecraft to all my fans who were watching my stream. The Frisky Frankie Paddock Club members. Shout out to them. Thank you so much for watching me and seeing me do my thing. But yeah, it was an excellent race. I couldn't be more happier, even though I could have been in the mix for a win. I am so happy to be on the podium.
Well, congratulations on the podium once again here, Frankie. And before we let you go, I know you got one of the shout outs in, but do the rest of them here. Get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of.
No, absolutely. Thank you to my team, my sim racing team, Mirai United Virtual Racing Team. I recently joined their outfit. It's basically a collective of racing VTubers, which I am currently streaming as a VTuber. They great support, great gang to hang around with, and as well, I'd like to shout out one of the sponsors on my car. Eurogoner, of course, once again, the game that's currently in development, cyberpunk RPG anime aesthetic with visual novel elements. The 2 guys are still plugging away at it. Even after all this time, they'll hopefully get a demo out sometime soon. But thanks to them for letting me rep them as well. And thanks to you, Chris, for doing your thing, and James, you provide excellent commentary. Glad to have the broadcast show what Indy Pro 2000 is all about in iRacing.
All right, buddy. Well, Frank, thank you very much. We appreciate the kind words and you coming to hang out with us here in the booth for a minute. And now we got to talk to the guy who's probably the happiest of the lot here. James says it's your first. I think he's lying. Nagisa Yoshikawa, congratulations on. Is this your first broadcast SOF win?
It is actually. I've been running this for so long, and a lot of podiums, a lot of good speed shown. But yeah, it's really nice to finally get the first win. Been doing it for a long time, and that's the one thing we've never got to victory lane. So yeah, really happy.
Well, and we just talked with Frank about this a little bit, but the strategy call to stay out when everybody else was pitting for tires, did it make you nervous at all that somebody was going to have fresher tires and be able to make them work?
Yeah, a little bit, to be honest, because especially because Jason pit out of the lead, which was pretty surprising. And obviously he's done more practice races this week than I have, so I was like, is there something I'm missing here? Maybe he knows better than I do. But with the race being shorter than it normally is this season, I wasn't too worried about the tires. And when I got out in front, it felt still the car was decently loose still, so I didn't think my tires were going off bad at all. So yeah, I mean, I thought we had good pace all night, and I was a little worried, but I think it paid off in the end.
Well, and then you turn around and you have to have this battle over the last handful of laps or so with Frank initially. Wes was in the middle of it, and then all of a sudden Ben shows up out of nowhere. There's a whole lot going on all at once. How do you kind of mentally settle yourself down and just know what you want to do and where you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely tricky for sure. Trying to, I think me and Frank were like crisscrossing back and forth for like 4 or 5 laps straight. It was a great battle, but yeah, definitely a lot to deal with there in the end, and I think played it pretty well. I just knew where I was strong and where I wanted to be on the last couple laps, and just tried to fight and stay where I needed to stay. And yeah, in the end, it worked out pretty good.
Well, congratulations picking up your first broadcast SOF win. I can't believe this is your first one. We have had so many conversations with you. It's always fantastic to get to chat with you. And before we let you go, make sure you do all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous out here too.
Yeah, of course, Team Watson Racing and Team Watson Racing Setups. Check them out. The setup was amazing tonight. And, Gateway's always been a strong place for us, I thought. So yeah, if you want to get the winning setup, check that out. And like I say it every time, but especially tonight, the other drivers in that lead pack for racing respectfully, and it was a great battle. So big shout out to them, and as always, you guys for putting on a great broadcast. And I really enjoy running it. I haven't been able to do it as much this season as I had hoped, but good to be back and get that win finally.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on it once again here, Nagisa. That was, quite frankly, absolutely fantastic here, James. And we'll go back to the live look here and start to have to kind of, center ourselves in as well and get ready to head on out of here. But, man alive, what an absolutely fantastic race we got out of these guys. It wasn't just the top 2 or 3. We had 12 cars in the lead pack for the better part of 2/3 of this race. It was as wild as we expect Gateway to be.
Yeah, Gateway never disappoints, does it? Like, every time we come here, it's always an absolute barn burner. The draft being an equalizer, but not too much of an equalizer, you're still going to see the cream rise to the top. And with all the chaos we got, made things a lot more unpredictable. And yeah, it's thrilled for the finish that we got, watching 3-car slugfest coming all the way to the line. Like, what more do you want from a motor race?
That was fantastic, and I'll tell you what, the championship battle right now is crazy. After this race, all the points have been tallied, including this race. Brian Molitor is leading the points, sitting on 530 markers. Everett Paddock is 14 back. Alexander Wesley Hazelworth is third. Brian Labarge, leading Division 2, is in fourth. And Cole Trexler, leading Division 4, is fifth in overall points, sitting on 361 markers. He's basically one SOF top split race out of the points lead. Darren Fahey is sixth. Joseph Heath seventh. Ben Carswell, Liam Loisel, Joel Rafael Silva Lopez complete the top 10. Frank Wynn moved himself up to 12th with the runner-up third place finish here tonight. This is completely wide open as we have hit the quarter or the third pole of the season.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Like we have no absolute idea who's gonna win the championship. We're pretty much guaranteed to have a first-time champion this season. It's gonna be an absolute fascinating finish here in the next few more weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Molitor is doing it on the strength of consistency. 4 starts, 3 top 5s. He has no laps led, and easily the lowest lap count of anybody inside, I would say, the top 5 in points. He's only turned 105 laps this season. Shows up, runs the SOF, and is getting the job done. We'll see what he can do over the rest of the season. But with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here. It has been a fantastic show thus far tonight, and we're looking forward to bringing you more of it. Coming up tomorrow night, the Bizzle will have the OEM series. I believe they are tackling Bristol Motor Speedway. Then coming up on Monday night will be the Silver Crowns from Indianapolis Raceway Park. TNT Shock is off for the second week in a row. But Wednesday night we'll have the Sim Racers Club, also from Bristol Motor Speedway. That race will kick off at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then on next Thursday night, it will be the U.S. Open Wheel Championship heading off to the Red Bull Ring. We're looking forward to that one too. And quite frankly, what the rest of this season is going to hold for the Indy Pros. But with that, time for us to get the heck on out of here. For James Watson and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, and we will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.